My goodness me, France have got a good rugby team. They've just announced their squad for the Six Nations 2024. Well, they announced it yesterday, but I did so many videos yesterday. I've only just got around to doing one on their squad. And here we go. That's what I'm going to go into in this video on Egg Chasers. My name is Tim. Thank you very much for watching. Leave your comments down below. And I'll tell you what, this is a country, France, that needed this squad. They needed something to look forward to and finally leave behind the pain. And I was in France during the Rugby World Cup. Let me tell you, there was so much pain surrounding that quarter-final exit by a point to the world champion South Africa. They took it quite badly. Even the great Antoine Dupont, who is a classy individual, even he reacted in a way that I didn't expect, with some unwise things, I would suggest, being said about the officiating in that game. Anyway, that's all by the by. That's water under the bridge now. France are looking forward, and man alive, can they be excited about their team. They start favourites for the Six Nations, and it's not hard to see why when you look at this squad, which has got some big players not there. It's got some amazing new faces, and there's even some great players waiting in the wings, ready for their opportunity if they get it. The depth in France is frightening. I'm going to go through all of those things and predict my team for that opening night game a week on Friday against Ireland. Cannot wait. Or 2 weeks on Friday. Getting ahead of myself. Cannot wait. Bring it on. And yeah, firstly, the absentees. There is no Antoine Dupont because he's now with the French Sevens team ahead of the Olympics. There is no Pierre Bougarit, the La Rochelle hooker. He's got a shoulder injury. There is no Dupont and Flament, one of the best locks in the world. He's got a foot injury, which has kept him out as well. And Gabin Villiers, he has been cut. In fact, I'll come on to him in just a little bit, the players that have actually been cut. As for the new faces, well, Emmanuel Mayfu qualifies on residency. He's got a French passport. He's a citizen of the country now. And absolutely amazing and an absolutely giant lock down in Toulon. 6'8", 145 kgs. That he is just a man mountain, and he can use it very effectively on a rugby pitch as well. When Eddie Jones took over as coach of Australia, the very first phone call he made to any player was to this guy to say, "Manny, any chance?" No. He's French now, and what a player to introduce into this Six Nations squad. Emmanuel Mayfu, he nearly made the World Cup squad. Brilliant centre, plays for Pau. Him and Louis Biel-Biarré, just before the World Cup, came into the training squad, got pulled out of action for the French under-20s, who went on and won even without them both. Mayfu just missed out on selection. It was Arthur Vincent who got the spot, but Mayfu is in now, and it's his time. He is young, he is awesome, and he's got a big future, as has Nolan Le Garrec. Without Antoine Dupont, Le Garrec has been playing really well for Racing 92. He's a goal kicker as well. He's a proper classic French petit général, and he's been having a great season so far. Fully deserves his spot in the squad. And I'll come to the players that are out, but Quiu no longer has his spot. And interesting that France have only selected 2 scrum halves in their squad. Le Garrec, along with Maxime Lucu. Nicolas Durand, oh my goodness me, I love this kid. He's awesome. Another centre, along with Mayfu, he's in. I'll come to the team in a minute. I think this guy's got starting potential for France. He is so good. And he's in that Bordeaux backline with Jalibert and Lucu and Penaud and Biel-Biarré. And he looks the business. And Moefana as well. He absolutely looks the business for Bordeaux this year. Big and quick. This guy's got it all. Matthias Halagahu. Now, he's quite small for a lock. 6'4". How many 6'4" locks are there in World Rugby? Tell you what, he can throw his weight around. 22 years of age. He only signed his first professional contract last summer. And Alan Wynne-Jones, in that short time he spent with Toulon during the Rugby World Cup, he was asked about this guy, youngster coming through in Toulon, as Alan Wynne-Jones was just playing his final games of rugby. And he said, and Alan Wynne-Jones said, I can see him playing for France in 2 to 3 years, and he will be Toulon's next captain. High praise indeed from a legend of the game. And, well, he's got into the French squad, could be playing international rugby even sooner than Alan Wynne-Jones predicted. Antoine Gira. He's a fly half from Racing 92, and he seems to have nicked Antoine Hastoy's spot. He's about the same age as Hastoy, mid-20s. Been knocking around a little bit. He's got the starting spot at Racing 92 at the minute. Will he have the starting spot next season? If Owen Farrell goes there, we'll wait and see. But I tell you what, he's done well to get himself an international call-up. Romain Ntamack is still out, of course. So France are looking for that third choice fly half. Could Gibert be the man? Well, he's going to get a chance, you would think, at some point in the Six Nations. As for the players that are out, I just mentioned the injured players, Ntamack being another one, but Sekou Makalu, not in. Paul Willemse, not in. He has in the last couple of weeks come back to form with Montpellier, putting in some big performances, trying to get his international spot back. But I think he's the victim of Emmanuel Mayfu now being available. You've got Baptiste Couillou, the scrum half, gone. Antoine Hastoy, the fly half, gone. And I've completely brain farted who that last one is that's not in. Who else is not in? Willemse, Makalu. Oh, Gabin Villiers. That's who that is. I don't recognise him without a scrum cap on. That's why I was looking at him going, who's that? Oh, Gabin Villiers. Normally has a red scrum cap on. Yeah, he got injured and just hasn't really recovered his form and confidence back to the levels that he showed before. And so BRA is in. And Mathis Lebel, who was in the French squad and is now out. He's scored 6 tries in his last 6 games for Toulouse, and he's been rewarded with a spot in the squad. As for, there's a couple of other significantly sized men in the squad who, at the Rugby World Cup, said they'd be retiring from rugby, international rugby that is, after the Rugby World Cup. But there they are, both in the squad, Awini Atonio and Romain Taufifenua. Not bad having 300 kilos worth of player still available. And they've definitely still got a job to do for France. This is what I love about this squad. They've got a load of players in like peak years at the minute, or coming towards their peak years, or in the next World Cup they will be at their peak. You've got a load of young guys just coming through, and you've got some proper experience that can really fill the void until the youngsters take over. Atonio and Taufifenua, awesome players. Atonio usually the starting tight head prop. I expect him to be for France. Taufifenua has been brilliant in that impact role off the bench. As for other players, I say the guys like Taufifenua and Atonio can fill the breach until new players come in. There are some really, really exciting players that are not in this French squad, but you think will be in future French squads, maybe a summer tour, for example. And Poso Tuilangi is absolutely one of them. From that rugby dynasty of a family. He's a massive man, 150 kgs, French under 20, been tearing it up in the top 14 as well. There was some question marks. Was he eligible? Was he not eligible? You see, Manny Mayfu got a passport and therefore he was eligible. He's a citizen. And there was a lot of people thinking that that's what had to happen. That's something Bernard Laporte brought in, was a rule that you had to have a French passport and be a citizen if you wanted to play for the French national team. I quite like that as a rule, to be honest. I think that's... It's a big step, becoming a citizen of a country, committing yourself as a citizen. I think I'd like that to be a rule, but as it is, that was just something Bernard Laporte brought in. It was not a rule, so it isn't the case. So expect to see Poso Tuilangi in a future French squad. And what that also means, that clarification that's happened recently where they say you do not have to have a French passport to be a French international player, that also means there are other players that could join that list. And check this out for a short list of enormous men. Absolutely giant specimens. All those guys. From left to right, or maybe right to left. I'm not sure how you're looking at this. Furthest away, Poso Tuilangi. This is JJ van der Mescht, who plays for Stade Francais, South African. Giant man, another 150 keg lock. He could be eligible. Just next to him is, just getting my names right, Moses Alo Emile, whose brother plays for Samoa. He is Samoan, but he's at Stade Francais. Giant prop, will be eligible for France. This is Joel Merkler, who has played already international rugby for Spain. Another massive lock/prop. Just a certain body type they love in the top 14 in France. I think he's got French parentage, and so he will be able to change because he hasn't played for Spain for a couple of years. He'll become eligible soon enough. And this is Tavita Tatafu. I think he's got the same name as another player who's an international. Australian? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But this guy is another absolutely massive prop that plays in Bayonne. Don't be surprised if you see this bunch of absolute mutants pulling on Les Bleus some point very soon. France don't need them at the minute. I mean, it's just frightening the talent they've got coming through. As for a team that will be taken to the field against Ireland, this is what I've gone for. Tell me if you disagree. Tell me what you think. The pack pretty much picks itself. I think Emmanuel Mayfu will start and take that kind of Paul Willems spot, just throwing his weight around with Cameron Woki in the second row. Jelonch, Olivon, Aldrit. There is an argument that Francois Cros will start instead of Anthony Jelonch. That'll be a good battle between the two of them. But Piato Malvaca will be France's #1 hooker. Marchand is coming back, but Malvaca took his chance at the World Cup and he has just been on fire for Toulouse. He will be the starting hooker. As for the back line, I reckon that 13 jersey is going to be a new face. It could be Gaetan, but I think it's going to be Nico Deporter from Bordeaux. And what that will mean, look at it. 9, Luku, Bordeaux. 10, Jalabert, Bordeaux. 11, Bielbiere, Bordeaux. 12, Dante, La Rochelle. But 13, Deporter, Bordeaux. And 14, Penaud, Bordeaux. 5 Bordeaux players in a back line, which is absolutely fizzing in club rugby. They are one of the favourites for the Champions Cup. And just look at the bench, the depth that France can call upon. I think they will go for a 6-2 split. Because Ramos can slot in at fly half, he's kind of the #2 fly half. I think Moefana, he can play on the wing and at centre. So that kind of got all bases covered right there. And it's just a frightening looking team, to be honest. And it's going to be hard to beat. Can Ireland raise their game in France, down in Marseille, and pull off a win against France? It's going to be an absolutely dynamite first match. The matchups all over the pitch. I cannot wait. France, like I say, I think are going to be tough to beat. Tell me what you think. If you appreciate the video, you get value from the channel, hit subscribe. I would love it if you would. Leave your comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up. I will see you on the next one.